Welcome to Litbit channel. Today we will see the lesson After 20 Years by O.Henry. To see about the author, his full name is William Sidney Porter. He was born in September 11, 1862 in USA. About his education, attended a local school and was an avid reader. However, he did not pursue formal higher education. About his career, worked various jobs including as a draftman, bank teller and a journalist before becoming a full-time writer. Next one, no majority literary awards in his lifetime, but his work has had lasting influence, leading to the establishment of the annual O.Henry Award for Short Stories in 1919. Style of writing known for witty, ironic storytelling with unexpected twist, often wrote about the lives of ordinary people in New York City, blending humor and pathos. Some notable works are The Gift of the Maggie in 1905, The Ransom of Red Chief in 1907, The Lost Leaf in 1907, After 20 Years in 1960. He died on June 5th, 1910 in New York. Let's see the background of the story. O.Henry, after 20 years, explores loyalty, friendship and life choice through the reunion of two old friends, Pop and Jimmy. Pop, now wealthy from his Western venture, returned to New York expecting a warm reunion. However, Jimmy, now a policeman, recognized Pop as a wanted criminal, forcing him to choose between duty and friendship. This story, set in New York City, highlights conflicting loyalties and the ironic effects of the time on relationships, showcasing how Henry's signature surprise endings and nuanced portrayal of ordinary people's struggle. Setting up the story after 20 years by O.Henry unfolds on a cold, rainy night in New York City. The desolate streets, empty buildings, and dim light creating a mysterious and somber atmosphere, symbolizing the passage of time and change. The setting, with its darkened hardware stores and lone all-night lunch counter, becomes a character in itself, enhancing themes of separation, change, and the fate. The noir-inspired backdrop of rains and foreshadows tales nostalgic and criminal elements. Historical event of the story after 20 years in 1906 reflects early 20th century America's rapid urbanization under the allure of the American West. The West symbolized opportunity, attracting ambitious individuals but also those willing to pursue wealth at any cost. Pop's experience in the West, competing with the sharpest wits. Pop experience in the West, competing with the sharpest wits, hint at this era's ruthless pursuits of success. Meanwhile, the story highlights law enforcement crucial role in maintaining order in growing cities like New York amidst societal change. After 20 years, O.Henry employs a third-person limited omniscience perspective. Following Jimmy the policeman, this viewpoint creates suspense and initially aligns readers with Jimmy's role, hiding his connection to Pop. The detachment narratives allows the twist to unfold naturally without moral sentiment. Without moral commentary, O. Henry perspective on human nature revives the inevitability of change and tension between personal loyalties and moral duty. Jimmy's dilemmas highlights the painful sacrifice required by loyalty to duty. Through this lens, the story becomes a nuanced exploration of how time, environment, and choices shape lives, test friendships, and reveal character. Let's we see outline of the story. In O.Henry's story, after 20 years, a policeman patrols his path on a quiet, nearly empty street around 10 p.m. With a chilly drizzle setting a mysterious atmosphere, the officer moves along with an air of habitual impulsive, twirling his club and checking doors. His authority evident. As he walks, he notices a man standing in the dark doorway of a closed hardware store. The man, Silky Pop, reassures of the officer that he is waiting for a friend with whom he made an appointment 20 years ago. Pop explains that he and his best friend Jimmy Wills agreed to meet at that exact spot after 20 years. Pop had left New York to seek his fortune. Pop had left New York to seek his fortune in the West while Jimmy remained in the city. Then, after that, Pop proudly shows the officer a diamond stud watch, hinting at his success and express his confidence that Jimmy, a loyal friend, will remember their agreement and shows up. Intrigued, the officer wishes Pop luck and continues his beat. While Pop promises to wait for at least half an hour, as Pop waits in the doorway, the cold drizzles intensifies, heightening the suspense and his anticipation. Around 10:20, a tall man in a long overcoat approaches, calling him by name. When they recognize each other, they confirm that they are indeed the old friends Pop and Jimmy. However, as they begin to work together, Pop noticed that Jimmy seems taller and a bit different than he remembered. Pop noticed that Jimmy seems taller and a bit different than he remembered. Jimmy, dressed in his overcoat invites Pop to join him for a chat to catch up. But under the bright light of the nearby drugstore, Pop realizes that this man is not Jimmy but a stranger. Confronting him, he accuses the man of impersonating his friends. The stranger then reveals himself to be a plainclothes policeman and places Pop under arrest, explaining that Pop is wanted by the Chicago authorities. Before talking him in, the plainclothes officer hands Pop a note from the real Jimmy, who had indeed recognized Pop as a wanted criminal. Jimmy confesses in the note that he could not bring himself to arrest his old friend, so he arranged for another officer to do it. As Pop reads Jimmy's note, his hand shakes, realizing that his friend chose loyalty to duty over their friendship. The story concludes with a bittersweet reflections on loyalty, change, and the pursuits of justice. In after 20 years, O.Henry characters, especially the policeman, Silky Pop and Jimmy Wills, are carefully developed through their character and dialogue. Thank you viewers. Thanks for watching this video.